The screen flickered to life, and there it was, a moment that would echo through the halls of power and into the homes of millions. Senator John Kennedy, his southern drawl cutting through the tension like a blade, delivering a speech that seemed to dismantle Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's political career with surgical precision. The Capitol Hill chamber was silent, save for the occasional gasp, as Kennedy's words hung heavy in the air, each one a calculated strike against the rising star of the progressive movement. For viewers tuning in, it was more than a political showdown. It was a human drama unfolding in real time, a story of ambition, resilience, and the unexpected bonds that form in the crucible of conflict. AOC, as she was known to her supporters, had always been a force of nature. A bartender-turned-congresswoman from the Bronx, she'd risen from humble beginnings to challenge the establishment with her bold Green New Deal and unapologetic rhetoric. At 35, she carried the weight of a generation's hopes on her shoulders, but also the scars of relentless scrutiny. Her office was a chaotic blend of idealism and pragmatism, where young staffers juggled policy papers and protest plans. Among them was Maria, a 24-year-old intern with wide eyes and a heart full of dreams, who saw AOC as a mentor and a mirror. Both had fought their way out of working-class roots. Maria's own story was one of late-night study sessions and AOC's single mother's sacrifices, and she poured that energy into supporting AOC's vision, believing it could change the world. But the political battlefield was unforgiving. Kennedy, a seasoned senator from Louisiana with a folksy charm and a razor-sharp mind, had grown weary of what he saw as AOC's idealism clashing with reality. He respected her tenacity but disagreed with her policies, and when a heated debate over climate legislation erupted, he seized the moment. The clash began innocently enough, a question about funding during a committee hearing, but it escalated as Kennedy pressed AOC on the feasibility of her plans, his tone shifting from polite inquiry to a pointed dismantling of her arguments. "You're asking folks to pay for a dream with their hard-earned dollars," he said, his voice steady. "But where's the blueprint, young lady?" The room tensed as AOC fired back, her passion flaring, but Kennedy's methodical rebuttals, piece by piece, began to erode her position, leaving her visibly shaken on live television. For AOC, the moment was a gut punch. She'd faced criticism before, but this felt personal, a public unraveling of her credibility. Back in her office, she retreated to a quiet corner, staring at the wall where photos of her community rallies hung. Maria found her there, hesitating, before offering a cup of coffee. "They're just trying to scare you," Maria said softly, her voice trembling with admiration. AOC managed a weak smile, but the doubt lingered. The media frenzy that followed was brutal. Headlines screamed about her downfall, and even some allies questioned her readiness. The pressure mounted, and for the first time she wondered if she'd bitten off more than she could chew. Meanwhile, Kennedy wasn't reveling in the victory. Back in his office, surrounded by framed photos of his family and a worn Bible, he felt a pang of unease. He'd won the debate, but the look in AOC's eyes haunted him, a mix of defiance and hurt that reminded him of his own daughter's struggles. He'd entered politics to serve, not to destroy, and the weight of his words began to settle. That night, he sat with his wife, Martha, who listened as he recounted the day. "She's young, John," Martha said gently. "She's got fire, but she's still learning. Maybe you could guide her instead of breaking her." Her words planted a seed, one Kennedy couldn't ignore. The turning point came unexpectedly. A week later, during a rare quiet moment, Kennedy requested a private meeting with AOC. She arrived wary, her defenses up, but he surprised her with an apology, not for his stance, but for the tone. "I've been where you are," he admitted, his voice softening. "Lost my first election, got laughed out of the room. Took me years to figure out how to stand tall without stepping on others." AOC listened, her anger giving way to curiosity. He offered to mentor her, sharing insights from his decades in the Senate, and proposed a joint project, a bipartisan climate initiative that could bridge their divides. It was a risky move, but AOC saw a chance to reclaim her narrative. The road wasn't easy. Maria became the glue holding the effort together, coordinating late-night strategy sessions where AOC and Kennedy clashed over details, but slowly found common ground. The media, initially skeptical, began to cover the unlikely alliance, dubbing it the Kennedy-AOC Compromise. Public opinion shifted as the duo appeared together at town halls, their debates turning into dialogues. AOC faced pushback from her progressive base, who saw her as softening, while Kennedy weathered criticism from conservatives who called him a traitor. Yet through it all, a mutual respect grew, rooted in their shared commitment to their constituents. The PO resolution came on a crisp October day with the compromise bill passing narrowly in the Senate. The chamber erupted in applause, and AOC and Kennedy shook hands, their smiles genuine. For Maria, it was a triumph. She'd seen her mentor rise stronger, her career not ended but redefined. The YouTube video capturing the moment went viral. Its title now an ironic nod to the journey. Watch. John Kennedy just ended AOC's career piece by piece, only to rebuild it. The story ended with AOC speaking at a rally, her voice steady. This isn't about winning or losing, it's about proving we can lift each other up. Kennedy, watching from the crowd, nodded, knowing he'd found a new ally in the fight for a better future. The message was clear. In the face of adversity, collaboration and resilience can turn a moment of defeat into a legacy of hope.